Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rivera and I'm very excited to tell you all about myself. To start things off, I'm 17 years old and I have two older sisters, which makes me the youngest of three. This leads me to my first item that represents myself, which would have to be my hockey jersey. And this one's kind of small because it was one of my first jerseys. But I started playing ice hockey when I was only 8 years old and I fell in love with it ever since. And you can see it also has my last name and my lucky number 7 on the back. As a kid, I was always into fitness and into just being active and having fun and playing as many sports as I could, which leads me to my next item. So the next item that represents me is football cleats and football gloves. So football is a sport that I picked up in high school, which is kind of late as everyone on my team started at the ages of 5 to 8 years old and I started in my teenage years. But I just wanted to try out a new sport and I finally convinced my parents to let me play, and it's a sport that I fell in love with ever since. So the next thing that represents me would have to be working out, lifting weights, fitness, anything fitness related. And unfortunately I don't have an item to bring in to represent myself working out or anything like that. But it is something I've been interested in since I was a little kid. I've always just tried staying active, and lifting weights has been something I picked up when I was maybe a sophomore in high school, and it's something I've always known to love. So you guys might notice I have a Darth Maul wallpaper on the computer behind me, and this is because of my love for Star Wars. As you can see, I even have a Star Wars lightsaber, and this is because I fell in love with watching Star Wars and especially the Clone Wars when I was only 7 or 8 years old, and it stuck with me ever since. And this led me to playing a lot of video games as well, which is my next item. So as I mentioned before, I use the computer behind me to play video games. I love playing video games. It takes a lot of my time out of my day just playing video games, which is, I admit, kind of unhealthy. But this led me to another obsession, which is coding and game development in general. I've been doing it since maybe 13 or 14 years old, and I've just stuck with it ever since. And the reason I've been interested in it is because you can put in a bunch of code and work on something for a while, and then you can automatically see the results, which you can't do with like working out or anything like that. So the last thing that would have to represent me would be the computer behind me. I built this computer when I was 13 years old, turning 14 as a birthday present, and I fell in love with building computers ever since. I always found it fascinating how you can put a bunch of computer parts together and just have a fully functioning computer like the one behind me. So once again, my name is Ethan Rivera, and this has been my identity presentation. I hope you guys have learned a lot about me, and I look forward to having a great semester with you guys.